Hold on. Hi, and welcome to joining my social reset. So we are running this over 2 days. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the power of simplifying your social media, because for a lot of people it's overwhelming, it's stressful. So I'm going to share with you how you can simplify it. But one of the reasons why I run this over the 2 days is I normally do it over three, but I found last year that three was just too much. So I've decided to do it for two. So today I will be sharing my kind of tips, which will be through a PowerPoint. I don't do death by PowerPoint, but there are some kind of diagrams that are going to help you kind of understand a little bit easier and how you can simplify things. And then tomorrow we're going to be looking at putting together how we bring the content together, the messaging, and then look at a 90-day plan as well. So one of the reasons why I run Social Reset in January and I do it this week rather than last week is because January is a really hard month for a lot of businesses to kind of get back into the swing of things with their business, their social media, and their marketing. And last week is like they're back into the swing of things. Kids are back to school, getting the house back to normal, actually just having that breathing space. And this tends to be the week that is the full week that people are back getting raring to go for the rest of the year. So I've always found that it works really, really well. And we do actually find January harder to get back into our social media than we do in September after the summer break, especially if you've got kids and you are spending that time off. And the reason being is that we have that Christmas kind of lull. We get to a point where we're like, right, do you know what? I'm exhausted from this year. I need to have that break. Do you know what? I'm going to cut now, going to cut my losses, and I'm not going to do anything from now on. So one of the things that we kind of need to think about is what we need to do and how we can simplify our social media. So, oh, I'm here, sorry, just press the wrong button. So a little bit more about me for those that don't know who I am. So I'm Samantha Cameron. I'm a social media psychologist, expert, and strategist. This is just some information about me. And the reason why I share this will become a lot more apparent as we go down the line, because not enough of you are sharing who you are, what you do, and how amazing you are. And people want to see social proof. And as we go through the session this morning, you'll kind of get to understand that a little bit more. So it's always a good idea to actually write a list down like this, a little bit more about you, because one, you should be sharing it on your socials anyway. You should be having it in your bios and your headlines. It should be on your website or your sales pages. You should be telling people through your email marketing, and you definitely should be telling people through your social media time and time and time again, because this is the social proof that is going to build that trust, build you as the expert in your field, your industry, and where people will then come to work with you. And it makes your social media so much easier. If you do have any questions as we go along, pop them in the chat. And then what I will do is I will answer them. If I don't answer them straight away, please don't worry about it, because what I will do is I'll mostly do it at the end so I don't lose any flow. If you are watching this on a replay, then please feel free to reach out to me through Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn message, or Instagram, and ask me any questions there as well. I'm happy to do that for you. So as you can see here, and this isn't to impress you or to kind of boost my ego, but it's just to kind of share a little bit more about me. So, I'm an award-winning social media expert. Won an award last year. I'm a social media psychologist and strategist as well, which means that I look and I teach and I kind of understand and learn about the psychology behind social media, which I'll be sharing with you as well today, and also the strategy. Because if you don't have a strategy when it comes to your social media, you might as well just be throwing mud at the wall, because it's not going to stick, it's not going to work. You're going to find yourself really stressed, overwhelmed, and it's just going to be pointless. I have over 30 years sales experience and business development. My dad always said that I could sell ice to an Eskimo. And people often say to me, well, why did you never kind of become a sales expert? Because I actually love the social media side of it. And because I am a business strategist consultant, the sales kinds of comes into that as well. But I'm not going to turn around and say I'm a sales expert, because that's not what my bag is. My bag is social media. I also have a successful social media and marketing digital agency. where we offer a done for you service ranging from social media, email marketing, sales pages. The only thing we don't do are website SEO and Google ads, but we do Facebook ads and everything else. And everybody that works within my agency are mums with children with special needs. That was never my intention. It was never something that I was like, right, my agency is only going to be this. It's just what happened. It just kind of happened that way. And it's great. I also run an accredited and certified academy where I teach and coach and mentor people on how they can become a social media expert, social media manager, content creator, and start their own business as well. #1 best-selling Amazon author. I'm a mum of 5. My eldest is 25, the youngest is 12, married to my husband, Rich. I love to travel. If anyone does follow me on social media, you'll see that I am always off somewhere once a month, and I take the half terms off and I travel a lot because I've built a business that is simple. I've simplified it, which allows me to do that and have that balance. I'm a paddleboarder, but I don't swim. I actually hate water, but I've never fallen in, but I love paddleboarding, and I also love singing, both karaoke and professional as well. But I'm not here to sing to you. I'm here to teach you a little bit more about how you can use your social media a little bit better. So there's over 100 social media platforms. These tend to be the ones that you will use: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and X/Twitter. You might be using Blue Sky, you might be using Threads. It's entirely up to you. There's no right and there's no wrong. You can use one platform, you can use 4, you can use 100 if you want to. But what you need to bear in mind is that you need to have a time element. You need to be consistent. I normally say to people, for every platform that you are using and you want to be consistent and visible and making sure that you're doing all the things that you need to do, you need to factor 20 to 30 minutes each day per platform. Okay, maybe a bit longer depending on what you're doing. But the thing is, if you haven't got 20 minutes, 30 minutes each day for each platform you are potentially using, you need to think to yourself, actually, should I be on 4 platforms or should I just focus on one? But we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. So why are people not consistent? I hear this all the time. So I go to networking events, I go to big events, and I talk to people and they ask me what I do and I tell them, and I can see their face. It's like, oh my God, I'm terrible at my social media. I get it all the time. I would love to meet someone at an event that when I say, oh, I'm a social media psychologist and expert, and they go, yeah, I'm rocking it. I'm absolutely nailing my social media. I would love that one day. But in the 8 years that I've been doing this, I've never met anyone. And the reason for that is there's lots of reasons why we're not consistent. It's the time, because we do find it time consuming. But however, we'll spend a lot of time scrolling and looking at crap, but we don't focus that time on using social media to help us build our business. By the way, I do swear. I'm not going to apologize because that's just me. You know, you get me. I'm not going to F and Jeff all the time, but the odd word may come out. So if I do offend you, I'm not apologizing. Okay, it's just who I am. So we do have the time. You need to find the time. And I know that sounds a little bit harsh, but if you're getting out of bed at 8 o'clock in the morning and then saying you haven't got time to do your social media, get up at 7:30, okay? If you are sitting at night watching TV, playing Candy Crush, or scrolling through TikTok, spend that time using it to grow and help your business, okay? Content. This is a huge thing, and I get this completely. And a lot of people stress about what content to put out, and it's normally because they're trying to please other people, and you don't have to. I'm giving you permission to allow you to put whatever you want out on your social media, and we'll be talking about content later as well. Basically can't be asked, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, if you don't want to do your social media, I'm not going to tell you that you have to do it, and I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to hold you accountable. If you don't want to do it, outsource it. Okay, get someone else to do it. That's why we're busy in our agency, because people don't want to do it and they want someone else to do it for them. But just think, if you don't want to do your social media, it might be that you just do it Monday to Friday. Think about when you want to do it. It might just be 3 times a week. Consistency means different things to different people. Consistency to me is Monday to Friday, 3 posts a day, real stories, but that's fine because I have a strategy. and I mark the time out in my day. So I make it a priority because it brings in a hell of a lot of business, in a lot of work into my business, revenue and income. No idea where to start. I get this one as well. There's 100 platforms. Which one do we use? I've been told that I need to do reels. I know I need to do videos. I've got to be on YouTube. I've got to do stories. I need to be posting 3 times a day. I need to do this. I need to do that. I'm exhausted just talking about it. But we don't need to have that situation with it. So let's think about how we can change this. So your social media is a little bit like a soap opera. So EastEnders, Coronation Street, Hollyoaks, Emmerdale, whatever you watch. And the reason why I always use this analogy is because it's easy for people to understand. So I'm going to pick EastEnders. I don't watch any soaps, okay? I'm more of a box set. I love American box sets. But the way that I kind of explain this kind of shares with you exactly how you can look at your social media content, your marketing as your own soap. So let's pick EastEnders. EastEnders, I believe, is on what, 3 or 4 times a week at the same time. Okay, you know the characters. They have the same characters unless they're going to kill someone off or someone leaves. But what they have is they have storylines. They have a big storyline that is happening. Okay, and then they might have little storylines going on around that as well. And what we want to do is this is how our social media becomes our soap. So we want to think about what is going to be for the month of January. What is our headline? What do we want? Oh, sorry, just letting someone in and it's just moved the screen. How do we tell a story through our own soap? How do we create our own storyline? And we build our products and our services to become that storyline. So when in EastEnders, they've just had a big storyline over Christmas. Okay, I dare say someone was killed off, because someone normally is on Christmas Day. Someone normally kicks the bucket on Christmas Day in EastEnders, and there's someone that's actually, been the murderer, and we have a big storyline. And in that storyline, they'll have their headline characters, okay, that we get to kind of know, and that's built up over 4 to 6 weeks. Then we'll have our sub characters. These are the people that have got different storylines that will basically then come into the main one as well. And then we've got our extras. So we've got Tracy in the bar, and we've got the person that runs the laundrette and the person that runs the cafe. And this is what we need to be thinking about with our content. This is what we think about with our products and our services. So one of the things that I would ask you to do is write a list down of all the products and services and anything in your business that you offer, whether it's a paid option, whether it's a free option. And then you need to think about all the things that are going on in your life as well. Okay, so are you going to an event? Are you going away on a trip? Have you got a birthday party to go to? Is something exciting happening in your household? These are the things that you need to write down, because this is part of your soap. Okay, you're going to have your main products and services. So these might be the things that you really want to push in 1 month. These are going to be your main characters of your soap for that month. And these are the ones that are going to get the most airtime, because this is going to be your big story. Then your things that might be the other products and services that you have. So it might be a free group, it might be a lead magnet, it might be a webinar that you're doing. These are the things that you're going to be talking about as your sub characters, and you're going to build those in as well. And then things that are going on in your life, these are your extras. Okay, these are the fun things that you're going to be doing and talking about. And this is how we start building up, because every time you see a soap on, so EastEnders, they don't just focus each episode on the main characters. You don't get 30 minutes of Cindy, Ian, and Kathy, if she's still in it. Those 3 just constantly over the 30 minutes. They'll have them on for a few minutes, then they'll bring in the sub characters, then they'll have extras. Okay, and that's what you need to be thinking of as your social media each day. So who is going to be your main character that's going to be your main post that goes out each day? What is going to be your sub character? What is going to be your sub product that you're going to get out and talk about each day? And then what is the fun thing you're going to have? And this is how we can create social media content where we're being consistent and you're posting more than once a day, because it doesn't have to be difficult, because you've got your list of all your products and services. you hopefully can create I'm going to share with you how you can create content so that you don't actually have to sit there and go, oh my God, well, I've got to share 3 posts today. Now I've got to come up with 3 different ideas and I've got to come up with 3 bits of content. And now I've got to write War and Peace. It's not that at all. But we need a plan, first of all, around what we're going to be doing. So this is how we kind of build our plan. This is why storytelling works, because we are building our own soap opera. We are building all of that information for people so that when they go and look at our social media, they will look at, so if we take my social media, for example, so my headline for this month, so my headline characters for this month have been my VIP experience days. They've been social media management and they've been these 2-day sessions. Okay. Then that will change. That will change next week. But then my sub characters will be my event that I'm running in November. It might be I'm just having a look to see what else. I've got a list up there of all the things that I run. It could be my power hours, but it could be my free 20-minute strategy call that I offer. And then my extras would be the fact that I've just come back off holiday and then I've been to Budapest. We've got a birthday party at the weekend for one of the children. We've got a puppy coming in a couple of weeks. We've got it's just random things like it could be I need a new box set to watch. Could be absolutely everything, but they're my extras. And that's what is giving me my content each day, which allows me to put 3 pieces of content out very, very easily every single day because I can turn those into videos to create reels and TikToks. I can turn them into stories on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. So again, we don't have to make life difficult. We can make it really easy. It's just knowing where you are from there. So you've got to think about what does your soap opera look like, okay? You don't have to post 3 times a day, but if you really want to get everything out there, you've got to make sure you're getting it out there, all right? So tell that story. So when someone goes and looks at my social media, they can see all the products and services that I offer. And they can see over a week all the different things that I want to share with people. I'm building relationships with people because I'm letting them into my life. I'm sharing what is going on in my life. When I go to an event and people come up to me, they think that they're my best mate, and that is fantastic because they watch me on social media. They're not just seeing what's going out from a business point of view, they're seeing what's going out from my personal life as well, because I'm inviting them into my personal life. Because when I meet somebody in real life, it breaks that ice because they'll say to me, oh, Sam, that looked amazing what you did. And oh, I'm really sorry to hear about that. Or I saw that happened, or that looked really good. And the same goes with social media as well. When people want to work with me, they know that they can message me because they've been invited into my life. They are a friend. So that first message isn't hard for them. It's really easy because we tend to want to work with people we trust and people that we are friends with. We trust our friends, okay, over people that we don't know. So when you are getting people to know you, know your world, know your life, know your business inside and out, not saying that you've got to start sharing your bra size and what size boxer shorts you wear, but when you start inviting people into your world, they become your friends. And people will trust their friends and they will buy from their friends. So that's why it's really important to have that element in as well and tell a story. I'm not talking about Pinocchio and telling little white lies. We don't need to be going down that route. Stay true to yourself, stay ethical. Okay, we need to make sure that we're not sharing any bullshit because people will see through that very, very quickly. And I see this all the time where people have got an event and they'll say, oh, I've got 20 spaces, but only 2 left, when really they've got 20 spaces left. Be honest and open with people. People like to see the honesty because they can relate to that. All right, so be honest and tell the story in the way that it needs to be told. Visuals are great. We all know this, whether they're designed on Canva and it's a nice graphic or whether it's a photograph of you. This morning, I've shared a random photo of me from the weekend when I was in Budapest. I have a bottle of wine on my head with 2 people dressed up in Hungarian traditional clothes, pulling very funny faces, and me pulling a funny face. It has absolutely nothing to do with the post, but it's a visual that people will like. And the comments that I've had already is like, what on earth are you doing there? Why have you got a bottle of wine on your head? But it's starting those conversations. It's getting people looking at the image and then they're going to be looking at the post. I'm not saying that you've got to go random and then think, right, I've got to go out and do loads of random photographs. Not at all. But if you don't have any photos of you, get your phone, get someone in your family to take some photographs of you just sitting there. Here's one on this screen of me just sitting there looking out a window, drinking a cup of tea. It's as simple as that. These are photos that I can use in my social media. Yes, we do need to use graphics on Canva, but they won't get as much reach as what photographs of you or your surroundings will do as well. We need to make sure we're sharing our customer stories. That's social proof. So very much like in EastEnders, where they share a story, they're sharing things because we're nosy, we're intrigued, we want to know what's happening next. So share those customer journeys, share those customer stories, because you need to share that social proof. If you're not sharing social proof, why will someone buy from you? Why will someone trust you? Would you go on holiday to a hotel that only has 1 star and all the reviews are crap? You won't, okay? You tend to look for the ones that have got the really good reviews, or maybe mid-range, because not everybody is going to be happy. We tend to know that people leave reviews when they want to basically moan rather than the good stuff. But we want to make sure that we are sharing that customer journey. We need to share behind the scenes as well. You know, don't just kind of put out that you're doing this and you're doing that. Share the bad stuff, share the good stuff, share behind the scenes. You know, for me right now, you know, I can be taking a photograph of this, and that's a post for me to put on to say that I've shared, you know, I've just done day 1 of my social reset. And that then could encourage people to sign up to watch the recording or join tomorrow. And again, make sure you share those testimonials and reviews, because they're so important. Because if you don't blow your own trumpet, no one else will. So as I said before, we need to stop throwing mud at the wall and start creating a strategy that is going to work for you. But there is nothing wrong with creating something that's really simple, because simple works. Okay, we find that it's not overwhelming, it's not stressful. And I'm a great believer in keeping things really, really simple. So I'm going to introduce you to my 3-tier method. And this is something that I implement into my business. I implement it into my client's business because it is simple. It's an easy way of getting your head around social media. So the first thing we need to look at are the platforms that we use. And the first platform is thinking, right, what is your tier 1? So we're going to, like the pyramid there, what's our tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3? And the way that the pyramid is shaped is tier 1 is going to be our primary, then secondary, and then we're going to have a fluff platform. So what is our primary platform? It's the one, if you have a platform at the moment that you know is your main platform, it can be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to use. There is no judgment. It's entirely up to you, okay? If it is a platform that you are happy on, you are comfortable on, and you know you get business from that, that's your tier 1, okay? That's what you need to use. If it's a platform that stresses you out and you don't want to be on and you don't like, that's not your tier 1. Your tier 1 needs to be that if someone asked you the question, if you only had one platform tomorrow that you could use, what would it be? For me, it's Facebook, okay? There's no right and there's no wrong there. I love Facebook because it's been my to-go for years, okay? Your second platform is the next platform that you feel is going to work for you as a business. Is your target audience there? To be fair, your target audience are going to be on every single platform. You've just got to go and find them. And the more consistent and visible you are, they will find you. So don't worry when people say to you, oh, you need to go and find the platform where your target audience are, because most people now will be on social media platforms. If your ideal client are children under the age of 15, you might think to yourself, well, actually, I need to head over to Snapchat because that's where they're all hanging out. But you might not feel comfortable hanging out on Snapchat. But at the same time, if your audience is whoever they are, it's more than likely that they're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or TikTok. You've just got to go and find them. And it's what you want. So think about what you want, what you love, and then go from there. So my first tier 1 is Facebook. Then my tier 2, I have 2, Instagram and LinkedIn. And then my tier 3, which is my fun platform, is one that I just love going in, dabbling in. is TikTok. And the reason why it's actually TikTok and YouTube. And the reason being is I create videos. So why would I not put those videos on TikTok and YouTube as well and grow an audience there? Now, just because I've said to you here that we need a tier 1, tier 2 and a tier 3 doesn't mean you have to have 3 to 5 social media platforms. You can just have one. If you just want one platform, just have one platform. I spoke to somebody recently and they said, but I don't want to be on more than one platform. I'm quite happy being on just Facebook. Fine, just be on there. We don't have to be on multiple platforms. We can just be on one. So I'm giving you permission just to be on one platform because we don't need to complicate things. If it's working for you and you can spend your time really focusing on that platform, then just stick there. If you then feel that once you've maximized and you know exactly that you're in a habit doing what you need to do every single day on that platform, introduce another one. Then start working on that one as well as looking after your tier 1 and so on and so on. However, if you do have platforms and you're thinking to yourself, actually, I should be on those platforms, but I don't have time to do XYZ, ABC, but I'm creating content so I can put the content on there for now, do that. Because then when you do kind of get time to do the other platforms, you can then start building them up. But one thing you can't do is go away and go, right, I've just done that session with Sam. I need to be on 3 platforms. I need to post 3 times a day. I now need to do this, because you'll do it for 2 weeks. You'll burn out. You'll hate it. You'll come off social media and then it's not going to do you any favors. So baby steps. Always think baby steps. Even if it takes you 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year to get where you need to go, just think this time next year, you'll be in a better position with your social media than you are today. So just do baby steps. Okay. When I was putting my kind of plan together last year, when we were looking at our social media strategy, I didn't go in. I'm the social media expert. I've got a team. I didn't go in and go, right, we're now going to go do. It wasn't. It was like, right, let's figure out what we're doing on Facebook first. Then we will introduce Instagram. Then we'll look at in LinkedIn. Then we'll think about what TikTok's looking like. We're now bringing in YouTube and focusing on that. So we've done it in stages. And that's because we have played around, we've tested, we've gone to see what works, what do people want to see. And that's what you've got to do. And when you do that, it works for you because you can then build it up. But as I said before, you've got to factor in 20 minutes to half an hour a day for each platform that you're using. And it's really a good idea to actually factor that time into your diary. So when we look at content, how do we work this as a tier as well? So I spoke before about writing a list down of all the products and services that you have. Now, I always recommend doing this month by month and then breaking it down into weeks. So the list that you have from all your products and services, think about over the month, what are the 3 things that you want to focus on? So how do you work this back? And this is a really, really nice task to actually do. Think about how much money you want to earn and think about your products and services that are going to help you earn that income. Now, if you have a product that, let's say, is 1,500 quid and you want to earn 3 grand, you've only got to sell 2 of those, okay, which is perfect. If you've got a product that's £500 and you want to earn 3 grand, you know you've got to sell 6 of those. If you've got a product that's 50 quid and you want to make 3 grand, you've got to sell a hell of a lot of those. Now, bearing in mind, the more things you need to sell, the more social media you need to do, the more noise you need to make. So when we look at content and what we're going to promote, it's working it back. So if you want to earn 3,000, 30,000 or 100,000 in this month, there's no right and there's no wrong. We've got businesses of all sizes on here and it is what you want to earn. Work back through your products and services and go, okay, if I want to earn that amount, how many of these do I need to sell? How many of these do I need to do? How many people do I need to get to sign up to there? And that is going to help you bring in your primary content, because those 3 things that are going to help you achieve earning that income are going to be the main things that you need to be talking about. And you need to be talking about them pretty much every day. So thing 1 would be Monday, thing 2, Tuesday, thing 3 is Wednesday. and then back to one on Thursday, Friday, and so on and so on. And the reason why we need to keep talking about it is because, yes, we see our social media every single day, but unfortunately, other people don't. So we need to make sure that we're getting our message out there and we're getting it very, very clear. The other thing is as well, people need to see something 27 times before they trust and buy it. The more they see it, the more they see social proof, the more that they see that you are delivering results, the more people will trust it and the more people will buy it. You can't just put a post out and guarantee that someone's going to buy it from there. Okay, if they do, it's because they've seen something before or they've been following you for a long time, and that's the thing that you've put out that is attracted to them and is going to help them. So then when we break it down into our weeks, your three things might change each week. That's not a problem at all, because your primary doesn't need to stay the same. It could be these three things one week, another three things a different week, and another three things the week after. Again, that's perfectly fine. Then when we look at our secondary content, these are things that are going to be educational, inspirational, giving advice, tips, behind the scenes, our reviews, the things that you are going to be sharing to basically complement the things that you want to push to bring in that income. So for example, if I'm pushing my VIP experience days and I want to, let's say, get 2 spots filled, it's all right me putting a post out saying I have 2 available spaces for my VIP experience days. This is what you're going to get. This is what you're going to achieve. That's fine. That's giving them all the information that they need, and it's got a nice graphic with it. Brilliant. I can put that out on Monday. And then I'll talk about 2 other things. Then what I may do later on that afternoon, so Monday I've put a post out saying to people, this is my VIP experience day, this is what you're getting. Later on in the evening, I might put out a testimonial from somebody that has done an experience strategy day with me. I might share that this is me preparing for one this week because I run one a week. It might be that I share some advice and tips and then say, look, if you're really struggling with this and that, then why not book an experience day with me? So again, you can use your second tier content to complement your first tier. All right, it doesn't have to be completely different. It could be that you're sharing a lead magnet. It could be that you're sharing access to your website, a blog, a free group. You just need to make sure that you're bringing things in so that people can see that you're the expert in what you do. And then your third piece of content is about what's happening in your world. So it could be that you're going out for lunch, you've been to a networking event. It could be that you've just had a message from a client and it really excited you. It could be something that's driving you insane. What is your bugbear in your industry? What is your bugbear? What is your thing? If you could get on a soapbox, what is that thing that you could talk about? Bring people into your world, okay? And that's what you kind of want to do. So that's where you come in with your tier 1, your tier 2, and your tier 3. And this helps break it down, because then you kind of go, well, okay, I can quite easily do 3 posts a day, because I can share them as reels, I can share them as stories, I can share videos. And you can put posts out as well. And then you've got your main things that you're talking about, you've got your educational, your inspirational, and then you're talking about you as well. But how do we find the things that we want to talk about when it comes to products and services? And when I work with businesses, as a business consultant, I go into businesses of all sizes. I go into the person that's working on their own. I go into corporate companies as well. And when I'm analysing their business, the amount of businesses that have so many gaps, or they have so many products and services, that it just gets confusing. And when people go onto websites, they're like, but I don't know how to work with you because there's just too many options. And when we give people too many options to work with us, it can actually put people off. So we want to make sure that we're simplifying and mainstreaming that as well. So think about what products and services you have in your business. Can you streamline them? Can you simplify them? So I have 3 businesses. I have the coaching and training, I have the agency, and I have the academy. And within each, there are 3 ways that people can work with me. There's work with me this much, work with me this much, or work with me this much. And they are also in line with budget. So if you've got this much budget, that much budget, or that much budget, I can then tell you, you know, quite easily how you can work with me. And then, of course, I've got the free stuff when people are just kind of like, do you know what? I just don't have the money at the moment. That's fine. Got some free stuff. Plug into that. Then when it comes to other products and services that I have within like the other business, it's just streamlined. It's just very, very streamlined packages so that people know exactly. And that's what we want to be doing, is making it really easy for people so that when you're talking to them or you're promoting on your social media, you're very clear around what you're doing. Because if you've got hundreds of products and hundreds of services, it just kind of, their message isn't out there and you're diluting what you're trying to promote and sell. And we can't sell everything that we do. I mean, I know when I first started my business, I had 12 different products and services that I offered. And 8 years ago, that was perfectly fine. But we need to be streamlining. We need to be simplifying because that's what people want. They want it really, really simple. When was the last time you went to work with someone and they messaged you and said, oh, go and have a look on my website? You go on the website and it confuses the hell out of you. Or they say, well, you can do this with me, or what about this, or what about signing up for that, or there's this option and that option. And before you know it, you're out. I'm out because this is just too complicated. I don't want to do that. I just need someone to tell me how I can work with you and this. And just by you asking a few questions, you can easily identify what someone's budget is, what support they need, and how you can work with them as well. So think about what your tier one from a product point of view, your tier two and your tier three are, and then think about how you can share those on your social media and make sure you're giving them the right airtime. Let's go back to the EastEnders analogy of who is going to be your main, who's in your main storyline for that week. Who are going to be your main characters? Who are your sub characters? Who are your extras? And think about using these as well. Okay, so that you're telling a story throughout the week and making it easy. But we also need to think about, when we are looking at simplifying things, about building an ecosystem, because it's not about having thousands and thousands of followers now. Okay, this is about actually having people that are connected with us that want to work with us. And it's about quality over quantity. Gone are the days where having thousands and thousands of followers will bring you in the money. It will eventually, but it's not consistent. So it's about building a network and an ecosystem that you will have people buying from you and buying from you and buying again. And that's what you want to create. So if you go and look at my socials, I don't have tens of thousands of followers. You know, I don't have a huge mailing list. And the reason for that being, but I have a big business. And the reason being is that people recommend me, people buy from me, and then they will buy something else from me because I have built an ecosystem. So I have Simplify Your Socials, which is my membership. I then have my Growth Accelerator 12-week program, and then I have my 6-month Social Mind Mastermind. And what I find is that people will come into the membership and then they're like, oh, Sam, I'd love to work with you a little bit more. Okay, come into the mastermind. They come into the mastermind. When they're finished in the mastermind, they go back into the membership. Then people in the membership might go into the Growth Accelerator because they want to focus more over the 12 weeks. Then from the Growth Accelerator, they might come into the membership, or they might then decide to join my mastermind. And that's what I've done. I have simplified it completely. Apart from my VIP experience days and my power hours, that's it. That is my ecosystem. That is what I'm offering. Very, very simple. Because I know that people that are in my social mind will book experience days. People will book power hours with me and things because I have built this ecosystem from there. So think about how you can build your own ecosystem, how you can simplify the products and services that you have to streamline them. This isn't me saying go out and create a membership. Memberships are hard. They're really hard work. Okay, it's a little bit like a dog is not for Christmas, neither is a membership. You'll see a lot of people launching memberships at the moment. They are very, very hard work because you've got to give, if you're going to be delivering something, you deliver. Like with myself, with my membership, we're just about to we've been open for a year, and every 3 months we do a new open intake. We're just about to launch our next intake. But I'm in my membership every single day. That is a commitment I make. That is what is on the sales page. So that is what I deliver. Okay, that's the other thing. You need to be prepared to deliver. So if you only want to work 2 days a week, Create a business and products that will give you that flexibility to work those 2 days a week. I only work 3 days a week. Yes, I'm in my membership every day, but it's just about me putting a comment into the WhatsApp group and just connecting with people and just making sure everyone's got that accountability, because that's what it is for. But don't go and create a business that is going to, if you don't want to work 5 days a week, don't create products and services that are going to make you working 5 days a week. Actually look and streamline, because this is the perfect time to do it. So here are some tips on how you can simplify your social media. So focus just on 1 to 2 platforms to start off with. Even if it's just one, that is perfectly fine. Because with that one platform, you need to be posting at least once a day. Even if your once a day is Monday to Friday, you then need to be connecting with people on a daily basis, whether that's sending them connections, friend requests. You need to be interacting with them as well. And I'm not just talking about liking and loving their posts. You need to be putting comments. The comments need to be more than 7 words. You need to make sure that you are building relationships with people. You might be reaching out to those people that you've connected with by messaging them. That's not spamming them with saying, oh, hi, I'm a social media expert, join my group, sign up for my program. It's about building relationships, finding out who they are, saying, shall we jump on a call and just have a chat and see how, what each other do? Because you never know who we might know in our circle that might want to recommend somebody. So make sure that you are building relationships and you know who the people that you are connecting with, make sure you know what they do. Because if you know what they do and you start to trust them, you would then recommend them as well. Are you going to create posts, short form video, stories? So the difference between short form video and long form, short form is 90 seconds. Ideally, the sweet spot is anything from 8 to 15. Long form is more than, kind of 3 minutes that you would put on YouTube. But you want to think about, if you're creating a post today, can you turn that into a video? Can you turn that into a story? Have you got ring lights? These are brilliant. If you're doing videos, you need ring lights, okay, or something that's going to give you somewhere that you can hold your phone and just give you that lighting as well. And just do videos. If you think about the post you've put out today and think about, can you jump on a video? Because you'll get a different audience for watching videos, different audience for looking at posts, and a different audience for looking at stories as well. So maximize your audiences and make sure that you're connecting with people. So can you now see why you need to kind of put that time aside for each platform, whether it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour? But it doesn't have to be all in one block. It could be 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, because there are times in the day where we're just standing around scrolling. And we all know we take our phone to the toilet while we're having a wee. If all you're doing is scrolling, think about sending 5 friend requests on Facebook, connect with 5 people on LinkedIn, comment on 2 people's posts on Instagram. Use your time where you would normally be scrolling to actually be doing things that are proactive on your social media. Don't forget to share tips, how-tos, and advice. One of the things that I always hear is, oh, well, if I give away too much information, people won't work with me. They will, because people want to be educated. People are at a point now where they have been told information, they've signed up to things, stuff hasn't been delivered, and they have walked away with losing a lot of money and not getting what they were promised. This month alone, I have spoken to 3 businesses that have wanted to work, that want to work with me, and they have got a little bit of resistance because they've signed up to other people over the last 12 months, spent a hell of a lot of money and not got anything from it because that person or people didn't deliver. So we need to make sure that we are proving ourselves as the expert. But please be, make sure that you are being ethical. Make sure that you are standing out as the expert, but don't go and put something out there if you're not going to deliver on it, okay? Because making it all sound very shiny and pretty might get people signing up, but you will have a massive effect on your business when that program time ends and people won't recommend you, and all they'll do is talk about you because you're not delivering, okay? So don't start over promising and under delivering. Over deliver and under promise as well, because it makes a massive difference. So think about how you can engage with your audience. There's polls, there's quizzes. Start asking questions. You know, it can be the simple thing of, I need a new box set to watch. And by the way, guys, I do need a new box set to watch because I've got nothing to watch at the moment. And if you can give me some suggestions and I haven't heard of them, or they're not on my list, or I've not watched them, I'll give you a little prize. But I haven't found anyone yet because it's always like, nah, I tried that, didn't like that. No, that's on my list, or I can't watch that because I've got to watch it with Rich. But yeah, I'm re-watching stuff at the moment because I've run out of things to watch. So give me some ideas. Repurpose your content. You know, before I was talking about, you know, that you don't have to go out and create a new piece of content for everything that you're doing. And in tomorrow's session, I'm going to show you how you can batch create content and content for all of yours. And I'm going to be inviting you into my world and show you how we do ours as well, because you don't have to make it hard for yourself. Make it really, really easy. And you can batch create, you can use scheduling. That's perfectly fine. Don't think that you can't. All the social media platforms have a built-in app apart from TikTok, but there are third-party apps that you can schedule to, so you can plan in advance and make sure that you're getting your content as well. And don't forget to review your analytics and insights, maybe just once a week. Don't overthink them again. I was on a session this morning with my accelerator group, and we were looking at insights and analytics. And sometimes they can drive us mad, because I was showing people a post where it had like 8 comments, but the views were less than the one that had 2. And it's like, how's that even possible? There's no rhyme and reason when it comes to social media. And this is why I say, as long as you are being consistent and you're getting your message out there and you're sharing with people what you do, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. You don't need to worry about that, because the analytics and the insights will always go like this, because the platforms will have glitches, the updates. It depends on day, depends on the time. It will depend on what time of the month it is, whether there's like moons, depending on, you know, how you kind of work, and you know what your beliefs are. Everything will be very, very different. People are on social media different times, but there's no best time or day to post. You have to play around with your social media and work out what is best for you. So when we think about social media psychology, how does this work with our marketing? And psychology, when it comes to social media, is a really interesting thing, because we need to understand from a point of view of how that works. So we need to think about emotional triggers. So a lot of business owners, when they create their posts, they're creating content that they want to create, and they're not actually thinking about their potential client or their target audience and what they're feeling. So you need to think about what the emotional triggers are. What are your target audience thinking about? What you hear it all the time. What are their pain points? So what are the problems that they have that you can solve? And you need to be thinking of it that way, and that's how you put your messaging out. It's not about bigging yourself up and making yourself look amazing. It's about how you can help them and how you're going to make them big themselves up and how you're going to make them feel amazing, because you're helping them with a problem that they have. So think about that when you're creating your content, because that messaging will be more powerful as well. So it's understanding the emotions of your target audience, and it's understanding the psychology of, and this is where all the other bits come in as well. So when we look at emojis, a lot of people can be very anti-emoji, or they're not professional, especially on LinkedIn, but they do have a different purpose, rather than just a laugh or a sad face or love or a thank you or a tick box. Think of the color. So the color of the emoji will basically help in the post, because when we actually look at social media, so from a psychology point of view, when we look at our social media, we have 3 seconds to draw in the attention of somebody looking at our profiles. So are your banners up to date? Are they telling people how they can work with you? Is your profile picture a picture of you? Is the name that they know you by? Can they find all of your links? Are your last 10 posts actually sharing who you are, what you do, how people can work with you? So there are lots of psychology things that we need to look at, but we've got 3 seconds, because that's all our brain span wants to cope with. We'll go and look at someone's profile, And you might get the odd person that will scroll down a little bit more and they'll go down to your albums and they'll go and stalk you and go and find an album from 15 years ago and start liking all the photographs. You will get that one person because we all work in different ways. But on average, we have 3 seconds where somebody will look at our profile and they will make a decision there and then whether they want to connect with us or work with us. When it comes to our posts, we have 1 second. So in that post, we need to make sure that we are drawing someone else in. And we do this through psychology. So the first thing that we do is use the colors in emojis, because when it comes to social media, the only thing we see is black and white. Now, if you are putting different fonts out as text on your social media posts, please stop now, okay? Because our brains do not register it. Our brains only register the text that is put out on social media. We will look at it and go, oh, that's different. I don't know why that's different. We won't pick up the words. And if you're using powerful keywords in a different font, we will just back off. Our brains will back off. But what our brains do love is the color, because we don't really register the black and white. Our brains are not computing the black and white in text. This is why we need to bring emojis in. So in your first line, your first sentence, ideally an emoji needs to be in there. And I've put the color wheel on here because this kind of helps when it comes to emojis. I'm not saying that you need to use the love hearts, because there are lots of emojis that have got all these different colors. So if you're using a tick, it's going to help you with harmony, loyalty, health. If you want to use a blue emoji, that's going to again help with loyalty, success. If you want to use pink, you know it's creativity. So think about what colors align with the post, the message in the post, and then think about the emojis that you want to use. This isn't about going in and using all red emojis or all green emojis. It's about breaking it up, because that first emoji is going to stop someone from scrolling, because the brain has registered with the color and it's stopped. And that's really, really good. And this is why photographs are really well, because the brain will see the photograph and go, oh, hold on a minute, Sam, that photograph is getting my attention. I want you to stop and I want you to look at this post. It might be wording and a post that I'm not even interested in, but the photo has made me stop because my brain has engaged with that. And this is why color in photographs is great. This is why color and emojis work really, really well. So this is just a very simple wheel. You can go and Google. Please feel free to take a screenshot of this if you want to, but there are other color wheels out there that go into a lot more detail, but I like this one because I think it just actually makes it really simple and it just breaks it down, especially when we're kind of looking at love and creativity, wealth, optimism, nature and confidence as well, because our posts kind of come around all of that as well. Now, keywords are a huge thing. Okay, now not only do all the social media platforms now have a search function, so when you put a keyword into that, your posts, you will come up. So you need to make sure that your bios, your headlines, your profiles have those keywords in. You need to make sure your posts have those keywords in as well. So when we're talking about keywords, we think about the keywords that people would use when they are searching for you on an internet browser. Okay, and they are the keywords that need to put in. So go and have a look at your profile, your bios, your headlines. If you haven't got your industry or the main thing that you do in there, get it in there, because that's going to help with the search function. It's going to help with your Google SEO as well. So you want to make sure you're doing all of that. Hashtags. One I get asked all the time, should we be using hashtags? There's no right and there's no wrong. Yes and no. Do what works for you. From a psychology point of view, we do not use hashtags on LinkedIn or Facebook. And the reason for this being is when we put a hashtag on LinkedIn or Facebook, it flares up in blue. Our minds will register blue over the black and white. So when we see someone's post and we see at the bottom loads of hashtags and all we see is the blue, we then won't read the black and white. And the hashtags don't have any purpose to us, because what will happen is we'll click on a hashtag and it will take us to someone else's post. So don't tend to use them on Facebook, and Facebook aren't that bothered anyway, unless you're promoting an event or you want to push something, then do it that way. Not a problem at all. With reference to using hashtags on LinkedIn, exactly the same reason. And to be fair, LinkedIn announced last year that they were no longer pushing hashtags because the way that they brought hashtags in was to build their own community. Hasn't gone the way it is. So they're actually saying now you don't need to use them. Instagram, I would recommend doing hashtag research. So make sure you know what hashtags you're using and don't use the same ones over and over again. Otherwise, you're going to get shadow banned, which means that your post isn't going to get the right reach. There are banned hashtags as well that you can't use on Instagram, such as Valentine's Day. I think there's a New Year one. There's Miley Cyrus you can't use. There's another. If you want the banned hashtag, actually what I will do is I will ask Grace to attach the banned hashtag PDF with the recording. Let me make a note of that as well, so that you've got that and you can have a look. So we have a PDF with all of them on as well, but that's for Instagram only. TikTok, yep, use a few, play around with your hashtags. You should always be playing around. And the problem is sometimes what can happen is you play around with stuff, you get it right, and then it will all change. Because unfortunately, that's what happens. But it makes that change a lot easier when you know what you're doing, because it will just be small tweaks. So on average, someone will spend 6 hours and 43 minutes scrolling every single day. Now, this is great for you because if your potential clients are scrolling through social media over that time, they're going to see you, they're going to see what you're doing. However, if you're not posting consistently, they're not going to see what you do, because a post will, on average, will have a shelf life of 3 to 4 hours. Story is 24 hours, a video is slightly longer. But this is why we need to be posting 3 times a day or in 6 different touch points over a period of 24 hours, so that we're capturing the people that are looking at videos, we're capturing people on stories, we're capturing people on posts. So even if you put a post out in the morning and then maybe something in the evening or late afternoon, you're going to catch people, because the people don't sit on their phones and go, right, for the next 6 hours and 43 minutes, I'm going to be on my phone. What they will do is they'll go on their phone, and on average, they'll spend 18 minutes scrolling and scrolling. So by actually having 3 posts going out a day with stories and reels, you're capturing audiences at different times, and that's what you want to be looking at. So I need to be looking, I know we're running over a little bit, but feel free to stay if you want to. If not, this recording will be sent to you and you can catch up from there. But I've got the time, so I would rather spend the time with you and give you the information that you need. So I spoke about the power of 3 seconds. And again, this is just something to kind of think about. Go and update your profiles and your pages. Make sure that your banners are up to date. Make sure your links are working. What do the last 10 posts of yours on all of your platforms say about you? Are they promoting you? Are they telling people about your lifestyle? Are you inviting them into your world? Or are you just sharing other people's posts and nothing of yourself because you don't have that confidence? And that's perfectly fine. But if you don't share yourself, you're not going to grow your social media confidence, and you're not going to grow your business through social media either. Make sure your content is varied. So when we talk about the percentage of business posts and personal posts, I always say 50-50. So if you're putting a personal post out, can you make it a little bit personal? If you're putting a business post out, so if you're putting a business post out, make it personal. If you're putting a personal post out, can you make it business related? So for example, this morning, my post I put out was a personal photograph of me away in Budapest this weekend. A bit of fun, a little bit cheeky as well. I've also put out that, saying to people that one of the reasons why a lot of people don't post on their social media is because they're worried about what other people think. And I'm saying it's okay. You don't need to worry about what other people think. And then I was also promoting the session for today. So I've ticked off 3 pieces. So if I was doing top trumps, I've ticked off those top trumps because I've done a little bit of personal, shared some advice, and I've shared something that's in my business as well. So you can vary it up very, very easily. Make sure that you're putting lead generation posts out there as well. So for example, yesterday, just bear with me, I need to take a drink. So yesterday, I put out a post that said, who would love a 2 3-hour masterclass with me? and I had people say me, 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 me. So I sent them a link for today. Okay. So make sure you're doing that with polls, market research. Think about what your main products and services are for that week and how you can do a lead generation. So another one that I might do is so for my VIP experience day, I might turn around to someone and say, I might put a post out and say, who would love a 90-day content plan as well as videos recorded in just a day? Okay, or who would like to work with me for a whole day or something like that. So it's about getting people to be accountable and say me, 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 because then you can message them and ask them that information. So make sure you've got a varied. If you're not sure, just go and have a look at my social media. Go and stalk me and have a look and see what I'm doing. And then that will give you a clear picture of what works, because it does. I get a lot of business through my social media because I am walking the walk, talking the talk, doing what is working, and I'm sharing with you that as well. And I've done that for the last 8 years, as a social media expert, and it works. Best times and days to post, as I said before, there isn't. It's finding what works for you, and what days. So, for example, I know Monday's not a great day for me to promote something, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays are. Friday afternoons are not, because my audience tend to kind of get to lunchtime on a Friday and they're stopping for the weekend. But Sunday nights are really good for me because people are gearing up for the week ahead, and they're normally on their socials on a Sunday, but then they don't on a Monday because they're back into work and they're busy. So find what works for you. But what you do have to remember is think about when your target audience are awake, and they're the times that they will be physically doing something on their phone, in their social media. So this is why the 3 times a day posting, or the 6 different touch points throughout the day, is going to help. So how do we stop people from scrolling and buying from us? You need to be consistent. So work out what consistency means to you. Is it posting 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 7 times a week? Is it posting once a day, twice a day, 3 times a day? I post Monday to Friday. And as I said, it's normally 3 posts a week. But again, I've got my strategy plan and I know what I'm doing. You need to be visible. So are you showing up on your social media? Are you showing up on video? Are you showing up in stories? Are you talking in people's groups, in masterminds, in memberships? Are you attending events? How visible are you going to be? Okay, are you going to get yourself out there? Are you sharing photographs of you on your social media? Create a FOMO. So again, let's make sure that we are being ethical, okay, and we're having that integrity where we are telling the truth and we're not giving BS, because we want to make sure that we are creating a FOMO, but we're creating a true FOMO as well. All right, so it's okay to create that. So if you've got a course and you've got 10 people that you want on your course and you've had 2 people sign up, feel free to share that. You might ask those people, is it all right if I share a photograph of you to say that you've joined? Create a nice little graphic on Canva. Get people in there, okay? Create that FOMO. We did it last year for my event. So we had a chart that every time someone brought a ticket, we put a gold star on there. And it was great watching it because we had 100 places. So every time someone brought a ticket, we'd put a post out. Well, not every time someone brought a ticket, but every week we'd put a post out, and those gold stars were going up and going up until we hit 100. And it was brilliant. When we open the doors for the membership again, the first 30 people that join are going to get a day with me, a training day with me, a full training day. So we'll have a little chart that will tick off those 30 boxes, and we'll put that out on social media, because that's creating this FOMO of like, oh my God, I want in on that day. I want to join Sam's membership. Well, I want one of those 30 stars, because that's just what human nature is. So don't be afraid to do that. Have fun with your social media and share behind the scenes. Behind the scenes is so important. Share what is going on. If your desk is messy, share, put a post out and go, oh my God, my desk is so messy. How messy is your desk? Or it might be a drawer in your office, or it might be that you're decluttering, or it might be that you get in your car and you're like, how many people have like loads of junk in their car, or they work from their car, or their car just looks like an extension of their office or something like that. Again, share behind the scenes. It might be you have products that turn up, open up a box and share with people, unwrap things. You're doing a presentation, share the presentation. You can do that as a photograph, you can do it as a story, you can do it as a reel. There's loads of things, but we'll be talking tomorrow more about how you bring your content together. And call to actions. So every post should have a call to action, whether it's a call to action where you're sending them off to sign up for something, going to look at a website, a sales page, read a blog, sign up to a lead magnet, or it's asking a question. But make that question really simple. Okay, don't overcomplicate the question because people won't answer it. When we're on social media, we want to get in and get out. Okay, we want to scroll, but we want to make sure that things are really easy to answer. So if you ask people a really easy question, they'll be able to give a really easy answer. So think about what your call to actions are as well. So I'd love to offer you a free gift as well for joining today, because I do appreciate the fact that you have taken time out of your diary to get all of this information from me. So if you go, if you click on the QR code and go to my 2025 planner, when you go to checkout, if you just put planner in, it will be free. In my social media content planner, there's lots of tips, lots of advice, content ideas. You get a weekly planner, a monthly planner, so help you map it all out. So your 6 touch spots every day as well. There's follow-up sheets in there. There are checklists, daily checklists as well, because each day you're not just putting your content out. You've got to connect with people. You've got to interact with people. You need to look at your messages. So there's various things that you need to be doing and following up with people as well. Because how many of you have follow-up lists? I speak to so many clients that don't have follow-up lists. So when somebody comments on their posts saying that they're interested in something, they don't follow up. And I'm not saying immediately, they don't follow up again and again and again and again, because life gets really busy. And when was the last time you said to someone, oh yeah, I'd love to come to that event, and then you don't sign up because the dog's been sick, or the doorbell's gone, or your phone has rung, or you've got ADHD like me and there's a shiny penny in the corner and you go and look at that rather than doing what you need to do? I would message someone and say, oh, hi, Sam. I know you said on my post that you wanted to come on my event, and I've noticed that you haven't got your ticket yet. So I'm just dropping you a little reminder, and here's the link. Okay, and then you know that you're following up with people as well. So there are follow-up sheets and how to do those as well in there. Please feel free to connect with me on all my socials. If you have got any questions, please pop them in the chat now. Happy to answer those for you, or you can message me privately. That's perfectly fine. As well, no problems with that. And if you're watching this on a replay, then you can message me as well privately as well. So I'm just going to go into the chat. Love that you've all kind of put your links in there. Love that. Go and connect with people. If you've seen someone's name on here, you know, go and connect with people on other platforms. This is your first step to building relationships, and build those relationships, because social media is now about building relationships. It's not about selling to people. It's about building relationships, building trust. James said, tell me about it. Memberships are very hard work. They are. And, you know, and when I'm working with my clients and they're like, oh, I want to do a membership, I'm often like, oh, hold on a minute. We need to think about why. And a lot of the time it is because they're like, oh, because so-and-so's running one, so I thought I would do one. There's other things that you can do in your business to bring that income in. I run my membership because one of the things that I wanted to do last year and going into this year was to help as many business owners that I could. And that's what I'm doing, because I'm giving them daily content ideas, I'm giving them accountability, giving them monthly training sessions. So for me, my membership works. So you've got to make sure it's the right thing for you as well. That's really great that people can join. Sorry that people have had to leave. We have overrun a little bit. I do apologise about that as well. Love that you've got some of that motivation there as well. Oh, is there an option for those that don't have a QR code? Yes, just message me, and what I'll do is I'll send you the link. Okay, I can send you the link for that. Let me see. Oh, I don't know if I've got it to hand. Let me have a quick look. If I haven't, just drop me a message on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn even, and then I can send you the link, because I don't think I have the link to hand. I don't. I do apologise. So what I would say is my sharing stopped. So just let me get back in here. Where are we? Oh, hold on a second. Oh, this isn't working. Stop. Why is this not working? Just bear with me a sec, because I can't get back into the screen now. Oh, there we go. There we are. Yeah, please just drop me a message. I can't find the link. I do apologise about that. So QR codes, I mean, are brilliant, and this is one of the things that a lot of people are like better with QR codes now since COVID and the pandemic, and just using your phone to scan. But if you're watching this on the phone, it's hard to then do that. So yeah, I do appreciate that completely as well. Um, Glad that you joined in, Sean, and you found it really, really useful. So tomorrow's session, which is at 10 o'clock, no, sorry, at 12 o'clock, because this is over lunch, because I thought it'd be great. People can have lunch and they can watch it. I'm going to be sharing with you how to create a 90-day content plan and how to build your content together as well. So thank you to everybody that has joined. I really, really do appreciate it. Hopefully you can make tomorrow. If you can't, it will be recorded and it will be sent to you. This will be recorded as well. So if you want to watch back, you can just put it on 2 speed so it's a lot quicker. And if you do have any questions that you didn't want to put in here, and you want to message me, just drop me a message as well. But thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to go and grab my lunch now, but have a lovely rest of the day, everybody. Take care. Bye.